I'm Jenny, and we're Rubber Family Reviews, and this is our 60 to 51.
We're starting to get to good stuff now. I mean, all the rest of the stuff was horrible before. It's just...
Well, some people just, horribly malign stuff and put it way too low.
Just because you're wrong.
No, he's wrong.
So, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So my 60 is a game that isn't even on his list. I don't know how crazy he is. This is Twilight Struggle. Now, what he prefers instead is 13 Days or 1960.
Yeah.
But I enjoy this one, even though we have managed to implode the world and set off nuclear and end a nuclear winter in this game.
You did.
Yeah, me. But I enjoy the theme a lot, and so this is a longer, heavier game that it doesn't hit the table very often in our house. I really enjoy it, and the theme does a lot for me. So this is, one of my really, if I want a nice heavy game, this is something I want to pull out.
Yep. So my number 60 is Dominion. And this is kind of slid a little bit because I'm not as much of a fan as the artwork as a lot of people. But Dominion is still one of the best deck builders out there. It's really efficient, it's fun. There's enough expansions that you could never, if you wanted to, repeat using a card set or a combination. It's just an amazing amount of variety. And, as a deck builder, Dominion's great. It's just, the artwork's always been kind of meh for me.
And it's a little bit hard to teach to someone who's never played a deck builder before because you have to keep track of both actions and buys.
It sounds like I don't like it, but 60. I look back, we've played 780 some odd games. So
yeah, well, and I'm sure mine's higher. But I really like it a lot as well. It's great to pull out. So.
And 2-player, it's quick. It's fun.
Yes, and we randomize. We have the randomizer, and we just randomize whatever we want to play that night. So, okay, my 59, and this looks bad because it's in shrink, but this is because we played with friends, and then we recently picked up a copy, and we just haven't played our own copy yet. And I think one of the reasons that it's high as it is on my list is we've recently picked it up, and I want to play it more. So it's one of those games I think when I get to the table, it might even go higher. I think it's pretty, it's fun. I enjoy the pandas and the theme. And just really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to getting out of shrink and getting our copy played.
Yeah, we played it a fair amount of times, but now we have a copy. COVID, local store got it in. I bought it to try and support them, and we need to do it. Wayfinders is my number 59. This is kind of a hidden gem, underrated game. The theme helps for me. You're island hopping and building airports and bases at different islands to get some points. But you've got a unique action selection and resource selection track. You get to move around based on, essentially what tokens, so what resources you have that allow you to move. It's also really, really streamlined. And we picked it up because it was on sale at a store in Fairbanks, Alaska. And I was like, well, this is looks neat. Let's go with it. And it's Pandasaurus, and I really like it. I'd like to get it to the table more.
Well, this was my 72. I also like it. I think it's a nice, simple game, but yet there's a lot going on. Yep. It's got a nice, fun travel theme that right now is really appealing. Okay, my 58 is one of the Red Raven small games, and we really like the small games. And this one is just, you've got the cards out in front of you, and you're area controlling to get the cards, but then once you have the cards, they're a new action for you. And I really like the different actions and collecting all the different cards, and the text is a lot of fun to read. Adds a nice theme to it. I'm not much of an area control person, but this is one that definitely I don't mind playing. And I think because there's so much of the action selection in the cards, that kind of overrides it for me. But, we really like Ryan Luckhart's small games.
Yep. This is a weird one. This used to be called Las Vegas. Now it's Vegas Dice Game. This was at Target for like $16. And we have gotten more play out of this than almost any of our other games. You're basically rolling dice and placing them on tiles person with the most color of their colored dice on the tile will win the money that's associated with that particular spot. So there is some choice in where it goes and what you do. But that being said, it's just really fun, quick. We've played it so many times with your family on motorhome trips or out at the cabin, and it's just been a hit with everybody. It's fun. Are you talking deep strategy? No. But you are talking a lot of fun, and I don't think we've had a bad play of it.
No, it's quick and easy. You can teach it in 5 minutes. And the nice thing is the pieces, it's all cards. They're heavy enough that you can play them outside on your picnic table and it doesn't blow away. We watched our camping one. That's one of the games we recommend for camping, and that's why. So many card games are really hard to play outside because you're always, if you have to put any cards down, they're flying around. This one doesn't. We have a couple of nice dice trays, and it is a great hit, and my mother does love it. So
I like it too.
Those were our 58s. Now my 57 is Ex Libris. This is another game we actually picked up in Fairbanks at one of their game stores. Mm-hmm. And I love the theme. I like the whimsical nature of making your little, library and putting them in order. It's all about organizing it, but there's a lot of rules in how you stack it and where you can put them and if you can move them. So you have to really think about what other letters you're going to get in and making room. And I really enjoy the puzzly nature of that, as well as, the theme doesn't hurt. I just really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of iconography, and I think for some people, the graphic design can be very overwhelming. If you're someone who looks at a card and easily gets overwhelmed by all these different symbols, I think they went a little too heavy on some of the colors and the saturation and some of the cards, but I really enjoy it.
No, that's a fun one. And you're trying to get, it's a unique take on set collection.
Because you're not really, you're collecting the icons, but it's the way it goes in your library, and you have to really organize very carefully.
Now, this one, Star Wars Outer Rim, my 57, I like a lot. I like this game a lot. It used to be in my top 10. It's down because we've played it a number of times. I've played it more than you have. And it's a pick up and deliver game. So you're trying to move things, either bounties or cargo or illegal cargoes or run missions. So it's got some depth. It's a couple hour game. But I'm getting through all the cards. If you play a 4-player game, you're pretty close to guaranteed to get all of the cards played and start reusing the decks. This one is one of the few games that I absolutely think it needs an expansion to add more cards. That's all. And if that was the case, I bet you it would go back up. But as it stands now, its replayability is starting to lower it. And I'm not sure how many more times it's going to be in the top 100. It's a great pick 'em deliver game. It's better than Firefly mechanically.
Well, and the issue is we play this usually 2-player, and we go through the deck more than once in 2-player.
Yeah.
And it's fun to do the Kessel Run, but I don't want to see it appear again because I had to shuffle the discards. That kind of takes away the whole fun of it, and it's like you're seeing the same things again and again. You kind of know who, you can almost memorize the deck if you've played it enough, and you know exactly which ones, okay, well, these are the most points, I should go for this. And so it does. We found I don't really like pick up and deliver. But it's at least Star Wars, and I got Princess Leia in there, so, that works.
You were also, you were Han.
Yes.
I'm not allowed to be Han if we're playing.
Yes, that helps a lot.
And I do like the game a lot. I think mechanically it's great, but I need some more cards. Fantasy Flight, come on. Mandalorian.
Well, and they're usually really they're usually crazy on expansions. So.
Mandalorian. That's all we got to say.
Yep. Okay, number 56 is another Ryan Lockhart small game, and that's Artifacts Inc. And the reason this one's a little bit higher is it's worker placement, and I love my worker placement. So you're collecting things for a museum, and you're displaying them in different ones, and you're trying to get majorities. And it's dice driven. You're rolling dice to do things, but there's ways you can mitigate the dice with different cards. Really simple. It's really pretty. It's Ryan Lockhart's art is never a bad thing to look at. But it's got that really cool worker mechanic worker placement mechanic, but there's a couple different things. There's like these dive cards that you can go for. You've got a lot of different options. You never feel like there's a bad roll. Yep. Sometimes you feel a little bit like, I wanted to do that and I can't, but at the same time, there's always something you can do. So,
Artifacts Inc. My 56 is Draftosaurus. This is a incredibly short 10-minute game where you're drafting dinosaur meeples and trying to build up your best park. Now I sat down and I thought about, when that got so high, and it's like, well, why? Again, I've never had a bad play. I've been able to teach people this in what? A minute or less. And the boys love it. I'm able to play, we play this all the time. I'm looking forward, they got some expansions which will add to some stuff, but all you're doing is drafting dinosaurs around trying to build up the best park. Place them in the park, put them in spots. In some spots you need a mated pair, some spots they all have to be the same, some spots they all have to be different. And you're rolling a die to see where everybody but you can put it on. On your turn where you roll the die, you can go anywhere. It's a great family game, and dinosaurs I've said it before, say it again. Dinosaur meeples are awesome.
Yeah, that is a great game. It's likely to show up higher on mine because we play it so much with the kids. We've played it with my family. It's, it's really good. It's really easy. And there's both an easier side and a harder side. Yep. So it's really easy to tailor to, I go to new people who haven't done much. And it's just so easy and quick to teach. The other thing is there's been some roll and writes that try to do a similar thing, and they're just too complicated because I draw with crap. And I just don't want to have to do that. This is just really simple. And there's really very little in the box. It doesn't take up a lot of table space. So those are our 56s. Now 55, this is a game that I just can't quite give up. This is Fresco. And, I love worker placements and I love all the different themes. You can just get me at, it's a slightly different theme, but it's the same mechanics. I'm almost always sold. So I love this, so that you're mixing paints to try to restore, this masterpiece. You've got the different parts of the mural that's coming off the fresco. And I just think it's a really simple, straightforward game that's really enjoyable. And everyone understands that, if I put these two paints together, I get this color. Like, it all makes sense. It's easy to explain. There's some stuff with Turner, the earlier you get up, your morale of your workers goes down, but you can go to the market earlier. So there's a number level of strategy. And we play this a lot 2-player, but I think it shines more at 3 or 4, because then that mechanic of, I gotta go early and get the right colors of paint, which means I've gotta, make my workers mad at me.
You don't have to see, they lie. Like, it's a 2-player game. No, it's a 3-player game. They have a bot. And the bot is smart-ish. Not necessarily smart. So it's not on my list. I think it's fine. We just don't get to do it 3-player very often.
Yeah, it's one of those, unfortunately, because of the way you choose turn order, it is not great 2-player. It's okay. And the nice thing is I like a game that you can learn 2-player, even if you want to play it 3 or 4, if it's good enough to play 2-player, because that's how we learn games. I don't want to have to learn a game when I'm trying to teach it to 3 other people. I want to already know the game, and so we need it 2-player to learn the game. Now, I would say, you said something, some of the bots are definitely better than others, but this one's okay. We also got a stellar deal at Barnes & Noble in Anchorage on this one, like 50% off. Or 75.
75, but that was a long time ago.
It was, but it's still a good deal and a good memory.
So, a 4X game, and I think this is the only 4X game we own, Star Trek Fleet Captains. So, see, I know it's on your list somewhere.
Oh, yes. It's funny because I'm not the 4X person, but this is a lot higher on mine, I'm sure.
You have no idea. This is the only one you've played. You might love them all. And this is Star Trek in a box. You are going to move around with your ships, your fleet. You're going to flip over a space tile, find out what horrible thing occurs, because it is Star Trek. So you've got a pretty good chance that if you actually do encounter something, it's just going to be ugly. And you got fleets flying around, and it's got all sorts of the ships. This base one has the Klingons versus the Federation. Klingons have more aggression in their ships, so their missions tend to be more combat oriented, but they can have science and diplomacy. Federation's kind of the reverse. You get mad at me when I beat you because I shoot at you.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that is our 55.
Sorry about that little break there. We had dinner arrive in the middle of the video. So we are now moving on to 54.
So my 54 is Empires of the North. And this is a game that replaced Imperial Settlers. Now we own Imperial Settlers and we had it all, and when Imperial Settlers came out, we were super excited. The idea that, oh, you can get all these new factions and you can play each other, and it didn't require deck construction, which is my biggest issue with most of the games like that. I don't want to construct my decks. I don't mind doing it in the process in a deck builder, but I don't want to actually have to do anything beforehand. The issue is that the factions proved to be pretty unbalanced, and the expansions did not work. You couldn't just mix them in. Had a lot of issues with them, and so when this came out, this is the refinement of it. There's supposed to be a bunch of new expansions. We haven't played it enough to really get any expansions. I think we might have one of them.
I think so.
Maybe Japan. But anyways, this really did fix a lot of it. It seems to work a lot better. They've streamlined it, cleaned it up. Really, they learned from the first one. So I really enjoy Empires of the North. I like the artwork. I think it's fun and cute. And so it, works for me. As far as a combat game, this is my type, because I still feel like I'm building all kinds of cool things.
There's no combat game. There's no combat in that.
Well, you can attack each other's buildings.
No combat in that.
So, anyways.
It didn't make my list because I haven't played that version enough. I just haven't. My other one, which is strange, because I think this is your favorite Dudes on a Map game.
Probably. That still doesn't mean it made my top 100, but
Oh,
yeah.
I know. Nexus Ops, and this is the old Avalon Hill version. It's a Dudes on a Map, and what you're doing is you're trying to take control of areas, and those areas give you certain resources. You can then upgrade your monsters, things.
Yeah, they're more like aliens. I don't really know that they feel monsterish, but they feel alienish.
You can upgrade your units to do different things and go to different areas and get bonuses depending on where they're at. So the crystalline versus the fungoid. The one I always forget is the lava leaper. So you can put those in the lava. It is a combat game. There are dice, but it's fun. I mean, you get resources, you bounce around, you don't really feel, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's right there at that perfect level.
I expected to hate this game, and I actually don't, so that says a lot for it as far as things, but our son also really enjoyed it, and it was a really fun experience playing with him, so that also colors, I think, a lot of why I enjoyed it.
54.
Yep. So we're now on 53, and my 53 is a game that, for me, it's all about the theme, but this is Warehouse 13, and we love the TV show, so when this was Kickstarted, we're like, well, we have to. So it really does feel like the TV show. I enjoy it. I've never been a fan of the trader mechanic, but here with the whole whammy makes sense because, again, it goes right along with the TV show. Now, this is a game we've only played it a couple times, 2-player. I think I will like it even more as we're able to get it to the table with more people. This is definitely, you can learn it 2-player, but I think it will be better with more.
Well, if it's 2-player, it's a pure co-op. And I actually liked this one a lot as a pure co-op. So this one lies the other way. It works good as a 2-player. I think it would be better with more. But I will say, I haven't played it enough to it didn't rank as high because I hadn't played it enough, and I wanted to try it at the other ones before I decided that it's that good. Now, Jen, this was your 97.
I know, I'm shocked at how low it ended up, but I think it's just because we haven't played it.
7 Wonders. Now, 7 Wonders, you need 3 play. Yes, 7 Wonders, the game, has a 2-player variant. If you're going to play 7 Wonders 2-player, buy Dual. Seven Wonders Duel. Do not play this one 2-player. However, it's still a great drafting tableau building game. Some people call it a Civ game. I don't agree with that. Some people call it an engine building game. Not really.
It's kind of. I mean, you don't get your production out there. You don't get that engine started. You're screwed.
Well, yeah, it doesn't feel like it. But as a drafting game, I love it. It's great. Easy to teach mechanism. Scoring is where people have trouble with it.
It's hard. It's one of those games when you're learning it, you have to just understand you're probably not going to do so well in the end. Be okay with it. And as you work through it, because even as you're trying to explain the way things work and the connections, until you actually see it played out, it's kind of hard. But by the third age, everyone has it, and it's a quick enough game. You just turn around and you play it again.
Yep.
But we have both Seven Wonders and Seven Wonders Duel, and we play a lot more Duel because there's only 2 of us. And obviously last year we played Seven Wonders not at all because you need it's one of those games. It's best at like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. You know, you want the group.
And the play time stays the same if it's 7. So.
Yeah, so, you know, it's one of those games that we just haven't played because we haven't had the people to play it.
Yep.
Okay, that was 53. Now, my 52 was Ray's 86, which is floor plan. This is a really cute little roll and write. And I kind of, beginning of last year, I went a little roll and write crazy because and we got a bunch. And we've kind of weeded through them at this point. We've gotten rid of a number. But this is one that definitely worked for us. It requires very minimal art skills, which is a major issue for us. And it's just fun. It's easy. We both enjoy the aspect of plotting your little house and yard. And it's quick. It's 20 minutes. You can play with as many people as you need, which makes it a great filler. Obviously, we've pretty much only played it 2-player at this time, but I think it's going to work well at any player count. So... and I think the theme is great. I think it's a great use of that. And the way the dice roll and that you match stuff up is really fun. You know, you really have to think about, ooh, how am I going to use this? What am I going to do? So I really enjoy Floor Plan.
All right. Trekking the world. Trekking the national parks came first. And it was a very light Ticket to Ride, maybe even a little lower than Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, because you don't really have to plan routes.
Game. And I thought it was good. It's fun. It's not epic making. This one is just a little bit more than Ticket to Ride. There's a little bit more going on, and you get to go around the world. Some of the artwork that they have, like the Great Barrier Reef and Mount Fuji that are shown on the back, are just some basic examples. The artwork on the cards is amazing. And you've got a lot more going on for it. So this one I really enjoyed because it's getting out of the light game and into more of the light to medium game. There's a lot going on, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. And it's just fun. And what you're doing is you're traveling around the world. You're going to different places, trying to get points by visiting the Great Barrier Reef, getting pictures, those types of things. But there's the mechanisms are solid.
I think we lumped this and Trekking the National Parks in the same category.
Yeah. And
it's a game I like even more. And because I enjoy those simple route building.
Apparently not. You were 71.
Oh, I was? I thought that was a 21. Oh, okay.
7. I'll check. You keep talking.
Well, anyways, I enjoy that. I enjoy the artwork. I enjoy that it's a little bit
71. I like it better than you.
Oh well, you know. Anyways, I like that it's got that the Trekking the National the world has that little bit of more strategy levels, so that it doesn't feel like. But at the same time, we just enjoy getting out national parks and playing it. So
if we don't want to think, we play in national parks. If we want to think a little bit, play Trekking the World.
Oh. Okay, now 51, the last one for this video. Mine is a little one, A Valley of the Kings. This is a deck builder, but it's almost kind of it's got a collapsing pyramid that is this auction, but then works really good 2-player because you have to think about what you're showing. It's similar in a way, if you've played Seven Wonders Duel, to the way some are down and some are up, and what are you going to flip up? The same this, what are you going to bring down the bottom that then is available for the next player? And there's been several versions of this. We actually just ordered the third one, and you can now buy all three together. We bought them separately because when we bought the first one, that was the only one that existed.
I was at Origins. It came out the same time as Star Realms, which probably lowered its...
But it's really cool because the cards do some really cool stuff. There are all these neat Egyptian things. And it's about when do you pull the trigger, because you only get points for what's in your tomb, which means you have to pull it out of your deck and entomb it. Well, you want to use the powers. So the really powerful cards, the ones that are worth lots of EPs, I don't want to do them yet. When do you switch from adding to your deck and using them to starting to entomb them? And that's where he beats me every time, because I don't do a good job.
You've beat me before.
Maybe once. I tend to want to hold on to my cards a little bit too long, and I do know I got to switch, but I want to buy a little bit of everything. And you're trying to set collect, so you're trying to get the collections in your tomb of these different ones. Like there's a jewelry one, there's like what's the difference? There's a bunch of ones because everyone has it. Every set has a different set, you know. So just a lot of fun. It's if you like both deck construction and deck destruction, you will enjoy it.
That one's really, that's a huge part of it, is because even the base cards aren't bad. You know,
no, they're not. And a lot of times you still want that power. But, okay, when do I get them out?
Legendary. I separated the Legendary out because I wanted to see where they all fell. And Legendary, Big Trouble in Little China is my 51. I'm a sucker for some 80s, I don't know, cult classic, silly movies, and Big Trouble in Little China is a cult classic, just silly movie. And I got this more, I guess, because I wanted to be able to mix the Big Trouble in Little China characters with like Marvel Legendary, so you could have Jack Burton taking on Thanos. And then I found as a self-contained game, this works really well. It's one of the better balanced ones. It isn't overly hard. It's not easy, and it's not in encounters. So setup is just super easy. And it out of the legendaries, this one doesn't take a whole lot of time to set up or think about who you're going to be. We have so much of the other legendaries that you look at and you're like, all right, we're going to do Marvel Legendary. You've got 800 different characters. Which ones would you like on your team? This one, self-contained. Love it, and it's not that expensive. It's one of the cheaper ones as well.
Yeah, and I don't mind the game, but I don't have his same fascination with that specific movie, so I'm not going to pull that one off the shelf.
Egg Shen rocks.
Well, thank you. That was our 60 through 51, and we'll see you for 50 through 41. I can add.
Math.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.